Yeah, this post on Facebook, YouTube, and X. So, all right, what's up, everybody? This is Clayton with 713 Sports Talk. Welcome in on YouTube, X, Facebook. Not on TikTok yet, unfortunately. But I have the honor, the pleasure, the privilege of having somebody who's very close to my family, my brother-in-law, Houston sports guy, amongst other things, multifaceted, multi-talented individual. As the kids say, it's a lot of glazing about to happen. But yeah, so host of the Ministry Minded podcast, UT sports fan, Mr. Rod English. How you doing, sir? Hand claps for you.
Hey, appreciate it, Clayton, man. Hey, thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate that, brother.
No, absolutely. So, just give the people more about you. For a couple of people at home, let us know more about who Mr. Rod English is. Tell us your sports background and what led you here today.
All right, cool, man. Well, first of all, like you said, man, yeah, we're very very close. Our sisters. Our wives happen to be sisters, right? So so we are family. So yeah, I mean, look, anything I could do for family, man. Hey, we're gonna get in there, man. But to answer your question, how did I get into sports and a little bit about me when it comes to sports? So, been a lifelong, Houston fan. I live in Orlando, Florida, but like I said, I always represent 713. So, I played. I wasn't that much of a great athlete in high school, but I went to high school out in Rosenberg, went to Lamar Consolidated, class of '96. So I'm telling my age a little bit, but it's all good. I played football, ran track. I've always been a football fan. Started liking football around 9 years old, and so I've always fell in love with football. And then, like I said, just played a little bit of everything. So played football. As far as organized sports. Of course, street hooping and stuff like that. And so I grew up on the southeast side of town, over not too far from South Park. So that's where I hail from originally. So anyway, was just always around sports, and so as I got older, my best friend, of over 30 some odd years, we decided to do a sports podcast. We went to the same high school, and so we decided to do a sports podcast. And I think we still have our stuff up on, YouTube and Spotify, if I'm not mistaken. We haven't taken it down. But we used to have a podcast called the Cap Casualties Podcast, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, everything sports related, right? And so, so getting back on the mic with you, I hadn't done something like that since then, right? And so, so once again, it's really really good to be on here, man. But as far as sports is concerned, like you said, avid Longhorn fan. Wasn't smart enough to get into school, but But anyways, I've been following the Longhorns, since the early '90s, and diehard Longhorn fan, diehard Houston fan. Of course, see it in my Astros gear, right?
Sure.
So, Astros, Rockets, Texans, Oilers when they were still in town,
Sure.
right? So, just a sports fanatic, right? And so, I'm starting to find myself getting into just a little bit of hockey here lately, because the Stanley Cup champions hail from the state of Florida. So
that's right.
Yeah,
didn't they go back to back, right?
No, what was that again?
Didn't they go back to back? I think.
Yes, yeah, they went back to back. They went back to back, and so starting to get into just a little bit of hockey. I love MMA. Love UFC, and so. Combat sports and things of that nature. So like I said, we can talk anything, man. I'm just a huge sports guy. So that's a little bit about my as far as my background, from a sports perspective.
Sure. And look, solid, man. Being all around sports, right? Man, okay. So you perked my interest. So you kept going, and I was still stuck on the fact that you mentioned UT. As a sidebar for a second. So how do you feel, sir, about the current state of UT sports? Are you feeling good? You think, how's that going?
Oh man,
we there? Okay.
Yeah. I'm a type of fan to where I don't buy into the hype. Right.
Oh, don't take the cheese. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Don't take the cheese.
I don't take the bait. I'm not drinking into any of the snake oil or anything like that. Now, Now, is UT fielding an excellent team? Absolutely, right? I mean, when you look at that defense, they're returning, a majority of the starters that they had on last year's squad. Led by Anthony Hill at Mike linebacker.
Yeah.
Michael Taft, he came out of nowhere last year and became an All-American at free safety.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're the secondary is probably going to be one of the best secondaries in the whole country. From a defensive line standpoint, they do have to replace a few guys, but they still have Colin Simmons, who is an absolute beast. I mean, who was a freshman All-American last year, and so so sky's the limit for him. And then I think the X factor. There's going to be two X factors on that defense. It's going to be Trey Moore and his versatility at linebacker. But the person that nobody's talking about that's going to wreck shop, if you ask me, is Ethan Burke. At the other defensive end position. You have an ex-lacrosse player who has a long wingspan, very, very quick, extremely athletic. He might be a little slightly light in the pants, but from my understanding, because I listen to a lot of podcasts, follow a lot of UT insiders on X.
Yeah,
and he's bulked up, over the summer, and he looked good in summer workouts. So that defense is really looking nice. Notice I hadn't said nothing about Arch Manning yet.
Yeah. That's a big omission. Yeah.
Notice I hadn't said nothing about Arch Manning, right? And so, based on what we saw on film, right, and he was able to play, if I'm not mistaken, 2 SEC games as the starter. He did play good. Now, mind you, it was inferior competition.
Sure.
But in the time that he did get, some significant playing time, he did look good. Now, compare him to Quinn. His arm talent is much better than Quinn's. Now, Quinn had a very, very quick release. An extremely quick release, which helped him out. But as far as getting the ball downfield, Arch has it. He absolutely has it. And then plus just the athleticism of being able to, you have to account for him. Now, mind you, Sark is not the guy that's going to feature a lot of QB power or QB run. He doesn't really like to feature that in his offenses, but he is going to sprinkle it in just so you can be accountable, just to keep the defense honest, to say, hey, look, you do have to guard all 11 on that side of the ball, right? And so, but definitely looking forward to seeing what Arch is going to do. Looking forward to see what the receiving core is going to do. They bring back DeAndre Moore, who's the leader of that group, and then they bring back Ryan Wingo, who was a solid 5-star recruit coming out of St. Louis last year. Coming up for his sophomore year this year, and so he's poised to have a really, really big year. But the ones that I'm looking for, really looking forward to seeing out of that receiving core is the freshman group that they brought in. They brought in a couple of 5-stars and Jamie French that comes from Florida.
Right.
Here's the thing. I've been fortunate enough to keep my eyes on the talent that's in this state for the last couple of years.
Right.
And I can definitely tell you that the speed is here. The speed is here, right? Now, no, they're here, man. They're here. They're definitely here.
You know what? Yeah, okay. I get it. Yeah, Floridians,
Like
Tyreek Hill, I think is Lamar Jackson, I believe. Guys like that, yeah.
Yes. The speed is definitely here. Now, you still got great skill position players that come out of the state of Texas, but the majority of them, they're here. Now, if you want to find you a good quarterback, go to the state of Texas, right? Now, I said that saying
I'm about to say Texas got to be somewhere. Oh, hey.
Well, but I'm putting my foot in my mouth as well too. Being a Texas Longhorn fan, their current 2026 recruiting class that they're actively recruiting in, the number one quarterback, I think in almost not all of the recruiting rankings, but I know he's the number one quarterback in the ESPN 300. Is a young guy by the name of Dia Bell.
Okay.
And he plays at American Heritage, which is down in South Florida. And if you know anything about early 2000s basketball, does the name Raja Bell ring a name?
Oh, of course. Oh, if you know ball, but yeah, of
Yeah.
course, Roger Bell.
So this is Raja Bell's son,
Okay.
and he's an excellent dual threat quarterback. Like I say, out of South Florida, you don't see too many 5-star QBs coming out of South Florida. You don't, right? And so once again, going back to reeling it back to the Longhorns,
Sure.
they're looking real good. The media's picked them to win the SEC, right? You got a lot of few that you got quite a few folks that are picking them to win the whole thing. I'm not there, but you got a few that are picking them to win the whole thing, and of course you got everybody that's picking Arch to win the Heisman. Once again, he has the talent. I just got to see it, right?
Sure.
I have to see it when he plays Georgia.
Sure.
They have to come down here to play Florida in Gainesville. Now, just to kind of give everybody a perspective of where Gainesville is at. So once again, I live in Orlando. So we're in Central Florida. Gainesville is 2 hours northwest of where we're at. So it's a short drive, right?
Geography.
Yeah. So I'm in the middle of Gator country, right? And so but everybody that I talk with around these parts, they have given Texas their respect. So
I do not to cut you. I do have a question for you. So kind of you made a perfect segue unknowingly, and I'm going to bridge it back to the NFL. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a report recently that's come out that alleges that the LA Rams actually would have interest in making Arch Manning their next quarterback after Matthew Stafford. I don't know if you saw that or not, but and I forgot who showed me that. But what I said was, I don't see the vision here, because unless you're trading up to get, because the Rams, if you're giving them respect, I don't think they're going to fall off. This is the same season where you get Devontae Adams, you got Puka Nacua there, Matt Stafford. Like, the guys don't suck. Like, it's not a rebuilding season. How do you square that circle, Rod? How do you, if you were to believe the report, how do you get from the Rams competing this season to Arch Manning possibly being the guy to follow Matt Stafford? Is it a major trade? Are they going to sell out for the future? Is it going to be like, as they used to say, like, forget them picks, right? Like, are they going to do that again? Like, how's it going to look?
Well, you have to remember the name on the back of the jersey, right?
Sure.
Manning, right? The Mannings are really royalty in the NFL.
Oh, of course, yeah.
They're NFL royalty, right? And so if you remember the whole thing around Eli, right? When Eli got drafted, I think the original team that was picked at number 1, there was, if my memory escapes me, but there was some controversy there to where Eli said that he wasn't going to go to that team.
Yeah, right? That was the Chargers.
Yes, exactly. So the fact that he put that out there, and he was such a highly touted prospect coming out of college, because of the last name Manning and who his brother was, right? Then, you saw what happened, and the rest is history, right? So the fact that Arch has the name Manning on the back of the jersey is not out of the realm of possibility. Now, I'll say this: as far as the Rams are a wild card. They're a huge wild card, because it's not. You're not going to sit here and say that they're going to go deep in the playoffs this upcoming season. I don't think so, right? Because they have way too many. The injury bug. It's the injury bug.
Old. Yeah, they're old too.
Even Nacua was out for a good while last year.
Right. True.
Right. Yeah. And so as far as I'm concerned, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Right. And so, but that's not to say that they have a good year and they still trade up. I mean, anything is within the realm of possibility, right? It's the NFL. So, I mean, you look at what the Texans did, a couple of years ago, to move up to get the 3rd pick, right? I mean, they already had Stroud locked in. They moved up from middle of the 1st round all the way up to 3 to get
like 15 Jr., or something like that, like 12 or 15. I think that range.
Yeah, and they moved all the way up, right? So anything can happen, man. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. Now, my understanding along with that story is that they're looking to employ Jimmy Haslam as Arch's agent. And so, yeah, I just saw a story on that yesterday. I saw a story on that yesterday that they're looking to that somehow, some way is connected to the Mannings because they have deep history.
Sure.
Because they have deep history, right? So
I guess I will say this: Arch Manning, really a Manning name on the back of anybody's jersey right now, except for like 5 or 6 teams, it's going to be box office just on the novelty alone. And I'm really thinking in my brain right now, like top 3, top 4 teams that just by record alone would possibly be in the range where they wouldn't have to trade down to get Arch. Put the Titans aside, they got Cam Ward. I ain't worried about them. Unless the Jacksonville Jaguars completely fall off again, which they better not for Trevor Lawrence's sake. So I'm gonna put them off to the side. You got the Indianapolis Colts, who maybe, I don't know, put them to the side. I don't run through the whole AFC South. The only other team I think, and it's weird because they got like 80 quarterbacks. You know what I'm talking about, the Cleveland Browns. They got 4 QBs now. They got Shador. Do they possibly? I have no idea. It's such a crapshoot in terms of teams that are going to be objectively the worst in the NFL. It's kind of hard because this is not a season where it's obvious of who's going to just suck the worst. So I don't know. But when I saw,
I don't know, the Jets.
Who you got? Give me Jets. You got the Jets.
The New York Jets. The New York Jets.
Oh yeah.
The New York Jets will find a way to screw something up. They always do.
But Fields, he's not, because Justin Fields, he's supposed to be the guy, right? Like he got the contract.
There's a rumor that's floating out there that toe injury may be worse than what it is.
I hope not, because that man, I hope not, because he was screwed by the Bears. We can say it. They built that team the same season they got rid of him for Caleb, so that's kind of messed up. He goes to the Steelers where they were winning games. I mean, whether it was aesthetically pleasing or not, jury's out. But they were winning, and then they switched to Russ. So then he was out of there. And now it's to the Jets where everything seems peaches and cream. And I did see their report with his toe injury. And you just hate it for him because it's like, oh, go on it, man. Like, he finally gets an opportunity to be the guy. And they're publicly, the Jets are there, vouching for him, saying, hey, he's our guy. And you get hurt. And again, it challenges that notion of not losing a job due to injury, but it's the Jets, so I don't see anybody taking that. But from a long-term standpoint, maybe you're right. Maybe throw the Jets in there and say there's a pretty strong possibility they might tank and get the number 1 overall pick. I have no idea, and that's going to bother me. As we're speaking, I'm gonna be actively thinking in the back of my head, okay, besides the Jets, who are some other teams that likely would qualify for being the worst? So I'm gonna be thinking while you're talking. So
the only reason why I bring up the Jets is because I have just this history of quarterback relationship with the franchise, right? The Cleveland Browns, that's normally a graveyard for quarterbacks, right? Yeah. That's normally a graveyard quarterbacks, right? You look at Deshaun Watson, he's popped his Achilles twice in a Browns uniform, right? They have the only quarterback that they had to where you can kind of had a glimmer of hope, or just a glimmer of hope, was Joe Flacco a couple of years ago.
Sorry about that. So we are actually babysitting over here. That's but again, we're live. That's the beautiful thing about live is that look, it's real life, man. We're real dudes. It's not gonna be overly produced. And that was Brittany back there, by the way. That was not just some random person back there, but
right.
Continue. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Cleveland is a graveyard of quarterbacks. They haven't had a good QB since
what, Bernie Kosar? I'm sorry. Respect to Baker Mayfield. Never mind. Baker Mayfield.
Baker's no. Baker's balling now, but guess where he's at? He's not in Cleveland. He's in Tampa.
You can't. I get it. I rock with the line of reasoning. I get it. Was he Tampa Bay Baker back then? No, but I will say that Baker Mayfield did help to bring the Cleveland Browns to a place of relevance that they hadn't seen since ever, right? Well, since Bernie probably, but
but look, so did Johnny Manziel.
Did he? For the wrong reason.
No. Relevance. Let's think
Oh,
of relevance.
okay. All
Relevance.
right.
People are talking about you. That's what
Sure.
relevance
Okay.
means, right?
Okay.
And so of course,
Got
yes,
you.
Johnny Manziel as well too, right?
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
look, even my boy Colt McCoy was there for a
Ooh,
minute.
that's a throwback. Colt
My
McCoy.
boy Colt McCoy was there, right? And guess
Ooh,
what happened?
nothing.
He got up out of there because he kept getting concussions because
Whole bunch
nobody
of
could
nothing.
protect him. You know what I'm saying? I
Man,
see
who
I
was
see
the
the
guy?
Jets. No, I see the Jets as the same situation. They
Oh, well,
hadn't
sure,
had
yeah.
they hadn't had nobody. The last QB that they had was Mark Sanchez.
That hurts. Yeah,
Mark Sanchez, right?
hurts.
So yeah. Until I see it, count the Jets in as going in on March Madness.
Sure. Sure, you basically got to pencil the Jets into really a lot of those conversations. Like, and it's look, New York. Listen, if I got any New Yorkers, if we have any New Yorkers, we're not trying to be mean. It just is what it is. Like, you got to pencil them in, right? But okay.
But here's the beautiful thing about that, because one of my ex-colleagues at my last company is a Jets fan. The beautiful thing about Jets fans, they are realistic.
Yeah, I mean, we used to losing, yeah.
And if they suck, they're gonna tell you they suck.
Sure, and that's real. That's real. I think. Look, and again, these are perfect segues because Houston is not that far behind. Because as Texans fans, right? It's kind of the same thing. Losing has a way of disillusioning you from all the bells and whistles and like the wool being over your eyes. Like when you're not used to winning, you can smell bull crap from a mile away. You can see your suck detector is so high, you can see it from a mile away. And it's crazy because look, I think we talked about this briefly. So I'm new to sports writing, like I do it variously now. I'm with the Crawfish Boxes, Battle Red Blog, Dream Shake, share my stuff all over. You can never accuse Houston media of being biased. Like you can look at Houston media members almost as cynics because they're so used to losing. They're the first ones to say, "Oh, Texans are going to lose 27-20." It's like, dang. But again, when you're used to losing, though, it's like, hey. We know, we get it. Just don't lie to us. Like, don't spit on us and tell us it's raining. That's all we ask for. Just don't lie.
Now, I will say this, and I'm going to protect the innocent. All right.
Oh, who's that?
Now, my best friend used to work at a couple of radio stations in Houston.
Okay.
Right. And so he's well connected to the radio community in Houston. Well connected, still connected, right?
Right.
Still do have a few that have affiliations with certain organizations to where they're doing a lot of this. And they're still there. They're starting to phase out. Yeah, they're starting to phase out, but they're there. Now the people that I do not mind name dropping, I may get blasted for this, but it's all good. I live in Florida, so you can't come for me anyway. So now John McClain will keep it real because he's old. McClain will always keep it real. Right.
The first one I see just blasting the Texans for whatever.
Yeah. You have a lot of the Astros beat writers. A lot of them, they'll keep it real. They will keep it real.
They Taggart, follow him. Let's see, tags. You got there's this dude. I don't know if you count him in the media, but it's this account that I see, Milo's Microphone. I don't know if you've seen this dude. Like, I don't even remember how I ended up on his, on his feed like that. But like, to your point, it's a bunch of dudes. They'll tell you the truth. Like, there's not a lot of fluff going on. And we ask that because when you're used to losing, right? When you do give us little nuggets of success, see, it's hard. We can't help ourselves. We're just like, oh, more like, yes, we're right there. And then you sound like Cowboys fans. So we don't try to be there, but it's like, that's why we ask. We just ask, don't lie to us, right? Like don't give me hope, like to use the end game quote. Just don't give us hope, right? Like, but perfect segue to Houston, right? So, according to the ticker you see, first thing I was actually going to get into formally was Texans training camp notes. So, of course, Rod, Texans training camp just started a few days ago. Now we're back into the season, right? You got all these 6 to 10 second clips all over X floating around, routes being run, defenders out there, right? Everybody got the little buff look to them right now. So I got some notes on from various people, like Blessing the Stress. I don't know if you know him. Blessing the Stress him. Landry Locker and the like, who have these snapshots, who give these breakdowns. So one thing that you notice, and that I actually wrote a piece on this, I noticed the first day of training camp, they were asking D'Amico Ryans, or asking C.J. Stroud, and before that, they asked Tim Settle these questions about the new offense, right? And they were like, what are some observations that you have about Nick Caley's new offense? And besides enthusiasm and energy, what I heard, without being messy, but again, we hyperanalyze anything. I heard the words like unity, in sync. Excuse me. Things are being made much more simpler. CJ said it's a quarterback's offense. D'Amico said that he's taking bits and pieces from everywhere, but he's not copying and pasting offenses. He's doing his own thing. He's tailoring his offense to the Texans, right? So that's what I heard on day one of camp. Outside of CJ also saying like he wants to win more in the details, where not just like wins and losses, but like winning every down, winning in the details, like winning in the offseason, which that's music to my ears, right? Because after last season, I'm rabbit holing a bit, but it's gonna fly back together. Last season, right after the Texans lost, or after CJ's rookie season, you saw CJ blow up, and rightfully so. 4,100 plus yards, offensive rookie of the year, was in MVP conversation for about 5 minutes. And they whooped the Browns, like one of the greatest playoff wins of all time in Texans franchise history. That happened. Then you saw like going with Micah Parsons and Harlem Globetrotter. Now he's all around the world on podcasts and sumo wrestling and all this stuff popping up. And then the season happens, and while the blame is not squarely on CJ's shoulders, this season did not go well. And literally it came down to the offense just being all out of sorts, being discombobulated, leading to Bobby Slowick being fired shortly after the season. Whereas the defense was just added on to with CJ Gardner-Johnson, Tim Settle's back here, Will Anderson's in year 3, Danielle Hunter's there again, re-signed, of course. You got Jalen Petre's back, he's re-signed, freshly paid. Derek Stingley, All-Pro, Kamari Lassiter, Kalen Bullock. I'm getting hyped just talking about it. Like, this team is loaded on defense. And I believe, like, with additions like Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel on offense, I believe, and also the whole slew of new alignment that you got, even though there are a lot of unknowns and question marks, and I'm going to lob this to you in a second, even though there are a lot of unknowns and question marks, I think the Texans are sneakily underrated, and I think that's exactly where you want to be. But, Rod, I'll lay it up to you. Going into training camp days 1, 2, now 3, what are some things that you observe? Besides what I just mentioned, what are some things you're looking for, things you're hoping for, things that you've noted thus far and what you've seen?
Yeah, so just about everything that you highlighted, is stuff that I've heard. I even heard this one detail that there was a offensive series to where Blake Fisher jumped off sides and they stopped the whole scrimmage.
Can't have that.
Right? Yeah, they stopped the whole scrimmage, and Nick Caley was all on that tail, right? So even the pre-snap penalties. Now, the person that created the majority of those pre-snap penalties is no longer in the Texans uniform.
We can be honest. Yep.
Laramie Tunsil.
Yep.
I'm so glad that he's in Washington because the fact that you were one of the highest paid players on that payroll, right? And you had that many pre-snap penalties, but let's back it up even further. But yet you want to show up to training camp when you felt like it. And when you showed up to training camp when you felt like it, you was out of shape.
Yeah.
So I could care less what the people were saying, what the players were saying. Trying to come to Tunsil's Laramie Tunsil's back.
Yeah. You saw they were upset when he got traded. Yeah.
No. He was not good for the team. Now, mind you, when he did have his stuff together, one of the best tackles in the league.
Sure, right? We can say that. Yeah.
Right? One of the best tackles in the league. The year that he had prior to last year, one of the best tackles in the league, period. Right? But when you get some success, right, and Tunsil hasn't had that much success over his career, you get to a certain level, now you start to get lax, right? And so that's a problem. The second issue was that Slowick wasn't creative enough on the as far as offensive scheme, to protect CJ. Now, mind you, that offensive line was horrendous.
Sure, yeah.
That offensive line was horrendous, and the Texans have to do better in their draft selections when it comes to offensive line. You know, they've had a horrible history, you know, of the draft picks that they've had at offensive line. The last, if you ask me, one of the last solid draft picks that they had at offensive line was Dwayne Brown.
So we're skipping past Titus Howard, going right way back.
I'm not even putting Titus Howard in there because he can't stay healthy.
And that's fair. That's fair.
He can't stay healthy, so I can't judge him. You know, honestly, he can't stay healthy.
You mentioned the history to the Texans O-line. I don't look, if you're outside of Houston, you don't really know this, and if you do, it's because you watch ESPN or it's some kind of narrative that you're doing. Y'all don't realize when this man says the Texans are historically franchise bad at O-line construction. Do you know the Houston Texans own 3 of the highest sack total seasons for a quarterback in NFL history? Like, they're not top 10, not top 7, top 5, I think. Like, they're top 3 of the worst seasons ever in terms of sack rate percentage belong to the Houston Texans as a franchise. David Carr twice, and I think was David either it was David Carr 3 times or it was David Carr twice, and Deshaun Watson's season was up there somewhere, I think.
Yeah. I think probably the last.
I think top 10.
Yeah.
I think those 3 in the top. Let's just say modestly top 10. I know for sure though, 2 of them were David Carr's, and 1 of them was Deshaun Watson. When as a franchise, once is already bad enough. When you're the worst at something in history of anything, that's already bad enough. You have multiple seasons that belong squarely to you of O-line roster construction being so poor. Like, you have ruined careers, you have ruined opportunities, and this is like, again, this is independent of like coaches, players. This is like a systemic issue where, like, in the O-linemen that you did have, you no longer have them anymore because you traded them, they walked away, you didn't want to pay them, whatever the reasons were. But like, no, historically, you have 3 of the worst sack rate seasons of all time. So this is definitely something like going into this season. It's a prerequisite, like it's a demand. And this, again, not trying to plug, I wrote another piece on this. I posted it to the Battle Red blog. Y'all check it out. The title basically was how the O-line is key in either elevating the Texans to newer heights, or they're going to be responsible for them coming to crash down on earth yet again. And I listed all those historical stats. And I did it not to kick them while they're down. I did not do it to be mean or to be nasty or for rage or clickbait, whatever. I did it to be historically accurate. And as a Texans fan, I wanted it to be something that encouraged these dudes to know, listen, a lot of people still look at the O-line like as the weakest department on the field. And rightfully so. Like, and you could say, oh, you can't get any worse from here. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. David Carr would say, yes, you can. So you would just hope that for this season, right? Like, and I love hearing what you said about Nick Haley allegedly stopping practice and saying like garbage, like we're not doing that. Like, I love that because for years you question the accountability on the team. I don't question D'Amico Ryans. I don't question Nick Caserio, but at the same time, you got to have players like 1 through 52 or 1 through 53 who are buying into their culture, and each one is responsible for what they do with said culture. And look, I did also see some of the immediate reactions to when Tunsil was traded. I get it. Objectively, we can say one of the best left tackles in the game, one of the best ones, which warrants the money to a certain degree. But you cannot be in one breath the best at something, but then you're leading the league in individual penalties. Like, again, y'all don't understand. Last season, Laramie Tunsil went on a run, a historically bad run, where I think like in 3 or 4 games, I think he set the record or tied the record for most penalties by a player. Like, it was that bad. Like, encapsulated
pre-snap,
bro. And I'm talking about the worst instance of this you could say was that Vikings game, if you remember. Everybody remembers that Vikings game where it was so bad the officials started laughing. Like, it was like 3 false starts in a row, and they could do nothing but laugh because it's like, I mean, what do you want us to do? Yeah, we're gonna throw it because it's the little things. So for me, absolutely, like I love to hear even more accountability being instilled on this team because, listen, we trust D'Amico to have the defense right. We trust D'Amico to bring the energy, to bring the hype. But now we got to see with Nick Haley, and and by all accounts, it seems like he's a lot more engaging, detail oriented. Look, I appreciate Bobby Slowick's contribution to where the Texans are. I do, but you can see even from season number 1, like some things you just question, and the bottom fell out in season number 2 when the talent did like this. Bobby Slowick stayed like right here. Like the
Bingo.
talent and the
Bingo.
team
Bingo.
outgrew where Bobby Slowick was. It
Bingo.
wasn't he was a it wasn't he was a bad offensive coordinator. It's that when he was called upon to elevate, because that's what the team did. CJ did it. Will did it. Expectations did this. They got Stephon Diggs. They got Daniil Hunter. They got all these guys. And the fact that your offense stayed right here and Rod, it got bad because publicly people were skewering Bobby Slowick and calling his stuff amateurish and
Yes.
rudimentary. All these things, like it was like daycare. And then to tie it back into training camp notes, when you hear people talk about an offense that now is evolving, now it's cohesive, now it's simpler, now it's exciting. Defensive player Sim Settle saying now they look like they're in sync. As much as you're trying not to be petty or nasty and look back to that, you can't help but say, dang man, like these guys, credit to them because they're really good at not like throwing Bobby under the bus, right? They were not one of those teams like, no, they didn't. The Steelers do it. That's just what they do. Not no shots taken, but that's just what they do. Call it what it is. The Texans did not do that. But Bobby Slowick must have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. That offense must have been bad. These guys know. They've played ball for years. They know what works and what doesn't, but they protected him. But what could not protect him were results. So, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, the rest of the NFL caught up to Bobby Slowick.
Oh my gosh.
They caught up to him. And
quickly.
And any defensive coordinator worth their salt, they're going to figure you out real quick, right? And so, and that's the reason why I have to go here. Is that kind of going back to college a little bit? This is the reason why Steve Sarkisian is so well respected, not just in the college level, but in the pro level, because he is a mastermind at scheming up offenses and adding so many twists in this offense to where he's going to keep you off guard, to where once again, from every single receiver position, from X, Y, and Z, right? The route combos that he throws in his offense, they're unpredictable, right? Yeah. That's number one. You know, how he uses the tight end, you know, I mean, because he tells you the tight end is probably the most important player we have on.
Bro, Rod, people don't understand that. They don't understand that. Rob Gronkowski, Tony Gonzalez, Brock Bowers, come on now, Travis Kelce. People don't understand. Like, an elite tight end is a cheat code. The wide receiver is cute. Running back is great. An elite tight end, look at the NFL dynasties and you tell me what's the same. But go ahead, continue. I just want to add that in there.
And then you throw in, you know, run schemes. You know, he's going to mix in inside zone. He's going to mix in outside zone. You know, he'll just to throw you off, you know, especially if he's got a running quarterback, every so often he'll throw in zone read just to put it on tape. Put it on tape, right? And so
that's a 40 test.
And so I bring up Sarkisian's name just to go back to the fact of that he's ever evolving his offense every single year, every single season he's evolving his offense. Like the craziest play that I've ever seen in my entire life watching football was when when Texas went up against Florida last year. Right. And that crazy reverse play to where I can imagine that middle linebackers where his eyes was. It was all over the place. Right. All over the place. Once again, they installed that play just that week. Just that week. You got to have that type of innovation in the NFL just to survive, right? And so I agree.
That's in life though.
And yeah, exactly.
Life ain't just NFL.
Now, the one thing that I did hear in the offseason when they were going through, you know, the candidates, you know, and they're going through specific candidates, including Kaylee, all of the talking heads in Houston, because I follow quite a bit of them, you know, like, you know, Cody Stutes, you know, Landry Locker, and all those guys, right?
Pendergast.
Pendergast, right? Zerline, all those guys, right? Sure. And so all of them have said that when you're looking at a offensive coordinator candidate, the best ones, you know, that normally tend to be really, really good ones are tight ends coaches. Kaylee was a tight ends coach with the Rams, right? And the reason why it's so important is because they have to know offensive line, the schemes,
Right.
for
Yep.
that, and they have to know route concepts.
Yep.
They have to know route concepts. Because the tight end, but outside of the quarterback, the tight end is probably one of the toughest positions to play on the offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you're not just being like a blocking tight end or purely pass catcher, if you're truly being a well-rounded elite tight end, you gotta do a little bit of everything.
That's
of course, that's what makes Kittle. That's what makes Kelsey, Bowers, Gronkowski. Like when you're great at more than one thing and you're big bodied, like again, people don't understand. Like the elite tight end is one of the greatest cheat codes in sports. And as a Texans fan, I think the last time we had anything close to that, no disrespect to Dalton Schultz, he's solid. I like Dalton, but nah. I think last time was like, who was it? Owen Daniels, James Casey. Those years where I think that was like the best tight end era that we've ever had. Outside of that, we've had CJ Fedorowicz. Now Brevin Jordan is underrated. It's just the fact that either he's hurt or he's not giving touches, but he's highly athletic. Like he's the guy, and that's why I said no disrespect to Dalton. But to go back to the Cleveland Browns playoff game from 23, Dalton's not taking that past 70+ yards that like Brevin Jordan did. Like he's not stutter stepping like you gonna do and then taking off for 60+. That's just not happening. Right. But in the same breath, he's not the kind of guy we're talking about. But okay, quick pivot. So that's Texans, right? So I know Astros is kind of next on the ticker, but since we're on football, I want to kind of leapfrog that and finish with that. So you mentioned, sir, that you had a Tennessee Titans theory. So for those who don't know, Will Levis, Mr. Mayo Man himself, not Mailman, Mayo Man. Yes, you heard that right. Man puts mayo in the mayonnaise, yes. So favorite character on Doug was Patty Mayonnaise, but so he got shoulder surgery, right? And I listened to Locked On Titans, right? And I forget his name. I'm so sorry. I'm going to shout him out, but I'm so sorry. I listened to Locked On Titans, right? And he alleged that Will Levis quit on the team, right? By this kind of thing. Now, I have my own questions about it, saying like, okay, if you're an athlete, like you know your body, you know something's not right. And the NFL season ends in like February, right? That's Super Bowl. And that's about 5-6 months until regular season. Even if your surgery for injury would take you out for the whole next season, I'm thinking, why not, if you want to get a surgery, right? Why not just get the surgery as soon as you know that it's a problem, as opposed to it's training camp, season's about to start. Now word comes down, right, from Schefter that you're getting shoulder surgery. You're definitely going to miss the rest of the season, right? Right? What do you think? What's your theory that you discussed about that? You said you think the Titans did it on purpose. What you got?
Yeah, because he had that shoulder, that AC joint issue in the fourth game of the season last year, right? Mm-hmm. And he kept trying to play, right? Because Anthony Richardson had the same injury in 23.
Mm-hmm. Right.
As soon as he had that diagnosis, he had surgery done for the season. Then and there. Yep. Right.
Sure did.
So you take Levis, right? Mm-hmm. He's still trying to play last season.
Starter.
So you got to give him credit for that. He was still showing up, right? Yeah. And so the timing of everything is so shady. That's number one. But number two, let's not forget who owns this team.
Yeah. See, and I didn't want to go there. I didn't even think about that.
No. See,
I didn't want to. Yeah.
The reason why I'm going there is because I follow the Houston Oilers.
Sure.
Since the mid '80s, right? Right. And so I'm still a little butthurt about them leaving town, right?
Sure.
And Bud Adams. He left a sour taste in every Houstonian's mouth, right? Mm-hmm. And so so if you are related to, if you have that last name Adams, I'm sorry, you can't be trusted. You cannot be trusted, right? And so
the Adams Family wasn't your favorite cartoon growing up, I'm assuming. That's
negative. No. I mean, Adams Family was before my time anyway. But
sure, you don't watch any movies with Adam Sandler in it?
No, negative.
Nope.
Negative. You said no movies of Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Happy Gilmore, man.
I'm just saying this because his first name is Adam, so it's kind of close. So
No, I said Adams.
oh
I
yeah,
mean,
okay, gotta have it. Okay,
last name.
plural. There you go.
So, knowing that Bud Adams' daughter is running the franchise, like I said, she's still in Adams. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. When you look at the sequence and the timing of everything, right?
Yeah.
So he gets hurt. Not his fault. He gets hurt.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, mind you, here's the crazy thing, and I'm not shocked because it's Tennessee. It's the Titans. It's an Adams move, right? Bud Adams has always acted on impulse. Always. When you talk about ownership and probably some of the craziest owners that we've had in this league, right? Bud Adams was up there. Bud Adams and Jerry Jones probably could compete with each other.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And so you draft Will Levis second round, right? So that means that there is some long-term stock that's there, right?
Yeah.
And so if Will Levis is not your guy, right? He gets hurt.
Right.
He gets hurt, right? You didn't shut him down last year, right? The reason why you didn't shut him down because all of a sudden you think that he's not a long-term asset.
Sure.
Right? You didn't. All of a sudden you didn't think he's a long-term asset. The reason why the Colts shut down Richardson, Anthony Richardson, is that because they are riding with Richardson. So no, we're going to shut you down so you can go ahead and get your surgery, so we can go ahead and get you to rehab as quick as we can so we can get you ready for the next season. How come they didn't do that with Levis?
That's a good point. I mean, look, man, you got to add in Brian Callahan too. That whole thing about his job security. Again, we don't know. We're just speculating. We're on the outside looking in. But between Brian Callahan, ownership, and Will Levis, it's a recipe for that kind of thing.
Right. So they draft Cam Ward. Now, mind you, I don't have an issue with the pick.
Sure.
Right. Now,
it was telegraphed too. You knew it was coming. It wasn't a secret. Like they unashamedly.
Yeah. Now, mind you, I think the Texans will be all right. Did I want to see Cam Ward go to the Titans as a Texans fan? No.
But we got both Cam and Travis.
Yeah, because Cam is dynamic. He's very dynamic, right? And the fact that he doesn't have to run but can run. So you got that, right? And so I just find it very odd, extremely odd that the Titans draft Cam Ward, right? And then all of the sudden, right when training camp's about to start, we shutting Levis is gonna get surgery. We shutting him down for the season. No, you shutting him down for the season because you fixed his butt up out of there.
Oh yeah, no, that for me when I saw that basically confirmed he's not coming back.
Yeah.
And the Titans, look, they're not known for protecting people. Like there are stories of Mike Vrabel, like former Texans coach Mike Vrabel, former assistant coach for Mike Vrabel on defense, former head coach of the Titans, right? Story comes out. This was after one of the greatest Texans wins of all time, one of the most impactful, that one with Case Keenum on the road on Oiler Sunday, right? What the famous call of "put them uniforms back in the trunk," like that one.
Yes.
Again, if you watch that game, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And the reports came out after the fact that game right there was kind of like it didn't get Mike Vrabel fired, but they said Adams was so upset, like she was upset. That was a report said. And like in every report that I've heard about her, it's highly temperamental. And again, I'm trying to be careful because I'm not trying to make an assessment of character, but I'm also saying like people are writing about this. I didn't make this up. It's available. It's on the internet. Go check it out. Following the mold of different ownerships with that kind of highly temperamental nature who are quick to make a snap judgment decision that's very short-sighted. And you ended up firing Mike Vrabel, who honestly has been your most successful coach in years. Mike Vrabel, a very darn good head coach, a guy who many players love playing for. For me, it hurt me because we had Mike Vrabel as a coach for the Texans. And to see what he did in Tennessee, he did more in his few seasons in Tennessee than Bill O'Brien and the Texans did in like 6. That hurt my feelings. So when they fired him, I was like, oh, okay, well, great. Hey, awesome. So what you got?
History will always repeat itself. I said that Bud Adams was temperamental. The apple don't fall too far from the tree, does it?
That's what the report said. We ain't make it up. That's right.
So let's give you a little bit of history. The reason why the current owner of the Titans got rid of Vrabel is because Vrabel is going to speak his mind.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to speak his mind. He's not going to take any crap off of anybody. Sure. That's the reason why he got cut loose.
Mm-hmm.
If we fast forward some 40 some odd years ago, there used to be a coach in Houston that used to pretty much own the Astrodome. A guy by the name of Jerry Glanville.
Well, I heard that name in so long.
Guy by the name of Jerry Glanville. Mike Vrabel, in a sense, reminds me of Jerry Glanville, not as cavalier, but speaks his mind.
Sure.
And did Glanville retire as an Oilers coach? No. Bud Adams fired him.
Yeah. That's very Jerry Jones-ish.
Right?
That's very Jerry Jones-ish.
Yes. Now, and who did he go with right after Jerry Glanville? Jack Pardee.
Jack Pardee is
one of the nicest people that you'll ever meet.
Yep.
Every time you saw him on the sideline, very mild-tempered. So guess what? He didn't fight the boss.
Nope.
The apple don't fall too far from the tree.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So that's the reason why I'm saying the Titans, all this mess that's going on right now, the Titans got something to do with it. This ain't on Levis. This is not on Levis.
It starts at the top.
All right. Now, mind you, people are human.
Yeah.
Was Levis probably scratching his head when they drafted Pam Ward? Yes. Did he probably see the writing on the wall? Yes.
Yeah.
Can I question his competitiveness? Yes. But at the same time, how can you compete when you got a bum shoulder?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So once again, going back to why didn't the Titans shut down Levis as soon as the injury happened?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm not buying the fact that that Levis quit on the team. No, man, no. If he did, y'all set him up to quit.
Yeah. No, and sadly, that's the politics of sports right there. And of course, I say politics, we don't mean red, blues, purple. We don't mean none of people positioning themselves, rubbing noses or rubbing shoulders or, like coaching up the bosses, right? Making sure that you don't step on toes, towing the line, as Jerry Jones would say. That's the kind of thing. And I had to learn that as a sports fan, because at first, becoming a sports fan, the first thing fans are conditioned to do is to blame the player first. And then as you grow an understanding of the games, right, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, NHL, a lot of things start to parallel and translate. And you start to realize, like, wait a minute, some of the last people really to blame are players, because they don't hire themselves, they don't draft themselves, they don't dress, they don't put their own jerseys on, they don't negotiate contract numbers. Some do, some don't. The players just are trying to execute the vision of the coaches and really ultimately the ownership group. Again, to use Jerry Jones as an example, he'd be the first one to tell you that the buck stops with him, right? Everything about the organization is a reflection of Jerry Jones, from ownership to his son speaking to coaches to GMs to scouts. It stops at him. So if you're going to take all the credit when things go well, you're going to take all the blame then. But then when you have an ownership group or a situation where nobody in leadership wants to take accountability and they just want to pass the buck, that's how you kind of get situations where players are blamed, coaches speak out in the media. And when you have a compounding effect of multiple people trying to save their jobs, again, because I'm a teacher, right? Full-time teacher. Or let's just say this. If you're in the workforce at all, it's the same kind of deal. When you have bosses on top of bosses on top of bosses, and it's a lot of pressure on the one that's at the tippy top, that pressure goes down, 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 down. Then it falls on your shoulders to where reversely, you have to make your boss look good, their boss look good, and all so on and so forth. And if not, you're the last one hired and the first one out of the door. So then to go back to sports, whoever got fired, the complete opposite more often than not gets hired. The dude who is like rambunctious or a rebel they bring in the nice coach. And if it's a super nice coach who you lose with, you fire him to look tough. Then you bring in the hard nosed coach, the defensive minded guy to whip these guys into shape. But then when there's no results there, it just is pendulum swinging, goes back and forth, back and forth. And poor ownership does not know how to build a stable environment where it just keeps going like that. That's why some of the most successful franchises in sports, the Steelers, they got stability. Baltimore, they have stability. The Patriots, they had super stability. And look, and I think with the Texans, right? I do believe they have the right head coach there and the right GM and D'Amico and Nick Caserio. So the hope is that they're the final GM and head coach at least for like a decade plus, to get to that point.
And then let's go ahead and give Cal McNair credit too.
Oh yeah.
Let's give Cal McNair credit because I can tell you right now, I was a huge Cal McNair hater when he took over the franchise.
A lot of people were.
He finally realized that he needed to get out of his own way, right? And let the GM and the head coach handle what needs to be handled on the football field. All Cal needs to do is make sure that the funding is there and the money is right. That's it. As far as football operations, let those guys do what they do, right? And guess what? Since we're live and since I have this microphone right here, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. Jerry Jones needs to learn the exact same thing. And as long as Jerry Jones is associated with that ugly star up in Dallas, the Cowboys are not going nowhere. So Cowboys fans, I want you to hear me on this. And I want the smoke. I want all the smoke.
Dang. And it's sad because I got deep sea blue on. And the background's blue. Oh no. Oh.
Look, this is Cowboy blue as well too. I don't care. The Cowboys are not going to the Super Bowl this year. They're not going next year. They're not going the following year. And they're not going the following year after that. Because Jerry Jones is not going to lose his grip on this franchise. Now, to be completely fair.
Okay.
And this is saying a whole lot because I loathe the Cowboys. And that's a strong word. Jerry Jones has turned that franchise, when he first got that franchise, he turned it from a laughing stock for professional sports to the one of the most valued.
I think the most.
One. Oh no. Well, yeah. Them and the Yankees are going neck and neck, right?
Yeah. Okay, we'll say that. Yeah, one of the most. Yeah.
So they're one of the most valued franchises in all of sports. And so I have to give him credit. You got to give credit where credit is due.
Oh, of course.
He turned that franchise into a money-making machine. Now, I will say this as well, too. It was probably easy for him to turn that into a money-making machine because he has a delusional fan base, and they will believe everything that he says.
Well, hold on. I agree. But, see, okay. And here, take you behind the curtain for a second. So, first of all, I believe it should be a national holiday whenever the Cowboys lose a playoff game. Just the complete melting down of Cowboys fans all over the internet. I have a Cowboys tears cup in my pantry right now. However, it's killed my fun. You know why? Because they've lost so much recently in such big moments. The fans have started accepting it, and now it's gone from delusion to disillusionment. And now it's like they're not even upset anymore. It's just like, whatever. And it hurts me because I'm like, oh man, I'm taking the fun out of it. Like I don't want to see you mad, but oh man, you're not supposed to sound like us. You're supposed to be like, we them boys. You supposed to believe while we watch y'all falter. You ain't supposed to sound like you got some sense. You killing my fun. What you got, right? What's
now, Clayton? After this, I will send you a profile of a TikToker, right? Because I'm not gonna blast them.
Sure.
Of a TikToker that is a super fan of the Cowboys.
Oh, that's dangerous.
When I say super fan, he is like the definition of a super fan, right? I mean, I think he's worse than Fireman Ed with the Jets. he's worse than the one guy that was the super fan for the Cowboys for a long time, when there was a Texas Stadium. He's worse than when Washington, when they were still the Redskins and they were playing in RFK back in the day, the super fan for the then Redskins, right?
Yeah.
This guy puts all of them to shame.
I need to see that.
So you still have those delusional fans out there that think they're going to the Super Bowl every year, that think that, oh, this is our year. This is our year. I just saw somebody else on TikTok just the other day, and this is a young guy that was saying that, oh, yeah, the Cowboys going to wreck shop because, we still got CeeDee Lamb. We got Dak Prescott, George Pickens, and all this other stuff. And, man, I'm like
Stephen A would say, just give it time. Just wait. Just give it time. Just wait.
All right, real quick, because I know we got
sure. We got one last thing. Astros, yeah.
So I'm not as much of a diehard 49er fan like I used to be.
Okay.
I forgot to put that in the intro, right?
Yeah, layers. Yep.
Yeah, I do follow the 49ers, right?
Okay.
The reason why I wore number 80 when I played football was because of Jerry Rice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I have followed the 49ers since '88, right?
Okay.
So from a two-edged perspective, I can't stand the Cowboys. From a two-way perspective,
right?
Because I'm a Texan fan, I'm a 49er fan. Right?
Yeah, I got you.
And so the last couple of times that the Cowboys played the 49ers in the playoffs,
you good.
Oh man, I was talking with my brother on the phone. I was talking with my brother on the phone, especially the last playoff game they played. I was talking with my brother on the phone, and I was like, and he called me up and he was like, man, and he was nervous because the Cowboys was trying to do something. I said, Eric, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
the Cowboys will find a way to screw this up.
Oh yeah,
it's inevitable. They will find a way. And guess what?
Yep.
When they
set your watch to it.
Come on. Speaking of watch, when they didn't handle that time management and the clock ran to zero and they didn't know what the heck was doing, they didn't know what the heck they were doing.
Oh my goodness!
I told my brother, I said, "Didn't I tell you they will find a way to lose?" In true Cowboy fashion, they did.
I mean, there has to be a list, but there has to be a list somewhere of like just teams most likely to implode. Cowboys got to be there. Jets got to be there. Browns got to be there. There's a list that exists somewhere, but we'll digress for a second. So, final thing, Rod. Final thing, and I appreciate your time, brother. We, keeping up there, but it's been good hanging with you. Final thing, to go along with your Astros shirt. Astros right now game back of the Toronto Blue Jays for best record in the AL. They have a team, a league leading 17 players on IL, and really
18
added today.
18, yes. As of today, 18.
Brandon Walter, for those who don't know, yes, they added yet another guy today, and Brandon Walter, who has been quality, solid for the situation. He has performed above himself. Now, I have heard some updates in my Crawfish Boxes group. They said that the ligament was intact when they, I guess, looked at his arm. So that's good. But at this point now, I don't want to hear that. I want to bubble wrap him. Don't come back anytime soon. At this point now, the question was going to be, what is your outlook of this Astros team? Again, I wrote up a piece on this a few days ago where I said this is the season of attrition. We need to temper our expectations because I do not want to sound like a quitter, right? Like as a competitor, like I don't like making excuses, but it gets to a point where there's a difference between excuses and reasons, right? And the fact that we have an entire all-star roster worth of men on the IL, right? Now, we have a few pitchers pitching in Corpus Christi, Javier Arrighetti, JP France, saw on the flyer. We have some guys creeping back in. That's fine. But this has got to be one of the worst injury-plagued seasons I've ever seen in my life. And that gets me back to my question to you, Rod. What is your expectation of this team to end the season? What do you think would be a successful outcome? Like chips on the table, cards on the table. From here, what does success look like for this group of guys right here?
They are good enough still to win the AL West.
Oh, okay.
Win the AL West, right? Okay. The fact that they're in the position that they're in now, I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm shocked.
Second best record in the AL.
Yeah, I'm I'm completely shocked. I'm gonna be honest with you because it's the amount of injuries, right?
It's
Yeah, it's the amount of injuries. Now, the flip side of that tells me that their farm system is finally back to where it needs to be.
oh yeah, better
Right.
than what people keep saying. They swear
And
they
it's
have a weak farm.
thank you. Because when you look at what Bryce Matthews is doing, and
Mm.
I am screaming, I'm so happy for Bryce.
Mm-hmm.
Right, patient. He waited his time. And when he finally got his opportunity, the dude is wrecking shop. Right.
Yep.
When you look at Zach Short and the impact that he's making, in a short amount of time.
Yeah, he's solid. Yeah, short. He's solid.
Yeah. And so you got these young guys that are coming up that are, they're playing some gritty ball, right? The problem, and this is something that they have to address at the trade deadline, is they do have to address the pitching. I'm so concerned about pitching depth, especially that starting rotation.
Yeah.
If you're going to make a run, now, mind you, yes, they got France coming up, they got Arrighetti coming up, all those guys. Javier, they're still holding out hope for Garcia, right? But I'm gonna be completely honest. I think he's done as far as his career is concerned. I think he's done. All right.
Who?
And so, Luis Garcia.
I thought you said Lance. Oh, Luis.
No.
You think Luis is done?
No, I say Luis is done. I'll also say Lance. I think Lance is. I'm a huge Lance guy, right?
Yeah.
But either you move him to the bullpen or you cut your losses. Right.
I think both might happen because this is the he's going into the final season of that 5-year, $85 million contract. So, and if you're the Astros, right, not to cut in on your point, but
yeah.
So not to cut in on you, but I think both are going to happen because in the final year of his contract, he can't stay healthy. He's done all you could ask him to do. Like, he's one of the rare cases where he's given you the multiple championships, right? Like, normally this conversation is about a dude who's underperformed. Lance has sacrificed everything. He's been your heart and soul. 24 straight curveballs right to the Yankees game 7. We remember that. We remember him tearing his arm off the bone against the Phillies. Even though he gave up 5 runs, he still that was the last game he played before injury news came out. He wasn't playing for 2 years. He gave us that electric speech in the locker room where he ran down their 22 path to the World Series. And I feel like still going back to watch that. We shut down the electric factory. We left them in the pool of blood. We do this and do that. We showed them who the real beats in the box were, or monster in the box, or what did he say? Anyway, whatever. Lance McCullers was the heart and soul of that team. He emotional leader as a pitcher. And it hurts us to say this, but we should be allowed as fans to be able to have an objective conversation about players. We can be sentimentally attached, but then also say, yeah, it's about time. And that's okay. We did it with Presley. They traded him. They showed you how they felt about him. They traded Presley, brought in Hader, right? Yeah. And we're talking about Lance where his body just can't hold up. And if he just does not want to be a bullpen arm, then you got to end your career as an Astro. Or if you look, this should be the end of the road because the Houston Astros should have no tolerance or no taste whatsoever left for bad contracts. Literally, to sidebar for a second, you still got Jose Abreu's money on the books. You still got friggin' I think you're paying a little bit of Presley's money, but that's nothing. You got Abreu's money in the books, Montero's money on the books. I think you have.
Yeah.
You got all this bad money, and then again, I feel bad to say this, but Christian Walker also. His contract is not looking the best right now. He's been solid, but you didn't bring him over just to be a little solid or a little below average. You were trying to follow up a horrendously poor first base experience for a season and a half with something that was excellent or at least stabilizing, and you can't even get that. So the Lance McCullers conversation is not even just limited to Lance. It's a bunch of things that are tied together with injuries and just his own health and the team's direction and just all this bad money that's poured into guys. And I'll add Christian Javier into that because he's just now getting a contract extension and he's been hurt. So you got just all this money wrapped up into dudes who have either not performed well, have been injured, or a combination of both. So really, this is kind of where we're coming from, right? So, that's it. It's from the business side of things. It's not personal. From a business side of things, it's just not a sustainable business model to have money wrapped up into a dude and a roster spot wrapped up into a guy who just you can't trust and depend on. And it's not all his fault. You just can't. But
and I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm shocked that that Lance has had as many outings as he's had this season, which is a compliment to him and his grit, right?
Yeah, but it does not look pretty.
I mean, no, it doesn't look good at all.
Goodness, he's out. Yeah, you're right. He's out there.
Yeah, but the fact that he's out there, and he's giving it a go, right?
Yeah.
You know, and this is the most that he has pitched during the regular season in 3 years?
Yeah.
Right? And so yeah, it goes back to your point. Lance Colors, he will always have the fans of Houston. He'll always have their heart, right?
Yeah, he's always, he's fine.
Always. I mean, when you look at what the Astros did when Tucker came back, for Chicago, right? Yeah. The whole building gave him a standing ovation, right? And so the Houston fans know that this is business at the end of the day. Right?
Yep.
It's business, right? Of course, it ain't nothing personal, right?
Sure.
Like I say, the only fans that really take it that personal are Cowboys fans, but that's
it all goes back to Cowboys fans.
That's something else. That's something else. I had to throw that shot in there, but anyways,
it's a pity. Stop doing it.
Right. So, but going back to the Astros as far as the outlook is concerned, they still have enough in the tank, and the AL West is so weak now. Mind you, the Rangers got a little bit of them. Seattle got a little bit of them here lately, but the Astros did get back to Seattle as well too. And so the AL West, they're beating each other up right now, but still. The Astros are still in a good enough position to where even though they're going to beat each other up, the Astros are still going to wind up being on top. And their non-divisional schedule is team friendly, right? I mean, you look at what they did with the Diamondbacks this past series, right? And so you need more series like that. That's going to give the confidence of those young guys, right? That's going to give them the much needed confidence. So when the playoffs do come around, that they have enough experience, right? I don't know if it's going to be good enough for them to make a deep run. I don't think that they're deep enough to make a run.
I'll give a caveat. If we can get a percentage of guys back, we don't need everybody back. Like we got Guillermo on the IL, JP France. Like no disrespect to them. But I'm thinking if they can get a fraction of guys back, Yordan Alvarez to name one guy, Christian Javier for depth, Spencer, heck, throw in JP France. If we can get Jake Myers, I don't know. I really don't think he's coming back. I think that whole thing. But, Paredes, right? If we can just get a fraction of these men back, I think that would, at least in being able to win in the AL. The NL is a different conversation. But from what I've seen, the AL is wide open. Like you got Toronto, you got the Astros, you got the Tigers have fallen back a little bit. But, it's a long regular season, right? But with about 59, 58-ish games left in regular season, I think if you're the Astros, you don't want to go into cruise control yet because there's just too much baseball left to be played. But you are looking at the trade deadline. And you're saying, okay, how do we balance? We want to not sell out in a season that could be lost due to injury, right? But at the same time, you do want to send the message that you're trying to strike while the iron is hot. You do want to send a message that you trust the guys that have put in the work and who helped to have you there. Like, you don't want their season to mean nothing. So it's just a hard square to circle. But I will say that at least from an AL standpoint, AL West starting there, it is definitely wide open. I definitely think you have the winning pedigree to win your division. And I definitely think that you could definitely more so win the AL than possibly do anything in the World Series. But that's pie in the sky right now. We're just trying to stay healthy game to game. That's it. And at this point now, we're so traumatized literally that we're afraid of injury updates in the middle of a day. Literally, it's a random Friday, a random rainy Friday, and a notification comes down that Brandon Walter is added to the IL. You cannot make this up. So, anywho, but we could go all day. But with that being said, Rod, we're going to wrap it up here, man. Hey, thank you once again, brother, man. I really appreciate your time. I really do. This man has a family, responsibilities. The man has a pretty nice beard. He got all these responsibilities. Okay, so he's taking his time. So you respect this man. But on the way out, can you tell the people at home where can they find you?
All right. So, yeah, I mean, I dibble dabble on the socials, right? And so if it's Facebook, just look up Rod English. I'm there, right? If it's Instagram, it's I am Rod English. If it's X, you can either look up Mr. English 78 or the Notorious ROD. Right. What else is out there? TikTok, same thing. Mr. English, either Mr. English 78 or the Notorious ROD. Right. Okay. And so I think those are pretty much all the socials that I'm frequenting nowadays. Right. So I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, all right. Well, sir, it was a pleasure to have you. Really do. Got to have you back on sometime soon, brother, man, when some updates come. Definitely enjoyed this. I definitely enjoyed this. And if y'all have any questions for Mr. Rod, hit him up. If you have any questions for me, hit me up. I'm also on X, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, all those things, because you just got to be in today's time. But this has been 713 Sports Talk, episode number 2, talking about Texans training camp, Astros outlook, as well as Tennessee Titans theories, UT, and all these other things. Subscribe to both channels, and we'll see you soon. He's out.
Hey, that's how you.